Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The Roosevelt dime of 1974 is one of those coins that instantly sparks curiosity, fascination, and wonder the moment it is mentioned. When people hear about a small coin that has the potential to hold such massive value, their eyes light up and their interest grows. It's not just a piece of change you'd overlook in your pocket, it's a tiny piece of American history with a story that continues to intrigue collectors across the world. When we talk about American coinage, few designs are as familiar as the Roosevelt dime. Introduced in 1946, the dime carries the proud portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a man remembered for guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. The 1974 dime falls right into the heart of the series, a period when the mint was striking millions upon millions of coins for everyday use. At first glance, most people would assume the 1974 dime is nothing more than ordinary pocket change. After all, they were mass-produced and circulated widely. But what makes this particular coin so special is not its sheer mintage numbers, but the rarity and unique circumstances surrounding certain surviving examples. Within the sea of common coins, there exist rare varieties and high-grade survivors that elevate this dime to a whole new level. The front side of the coin, known as the obverse, proudly displays Roosevelt's left-facing profile, designed by John R. Sinek. His image is accompanied by the simple inscriptions, "Liberty," and the powerful words, "In God We Trust." These markings are not just decorative, they are reminders of America's values and Roosevelt's significant contributions to the nation's history. Flipping the coin over, the reverse is just as symbolic. The design features a lit torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. Each element carries meaning. The torch represents liberty and enlightenment, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch signifies strength and endurance. Together, they tell a story of resilience that the American people hold close. The 1974 dime was struck in large quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with some also produced as proofs at the San Francisco Mint. While these dimes are common in circulation, what sets a few apart are their condition and the rare errors that sometimes occurred during minting. For collectors, those details make all the difference. Errors can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. A misaligned die, a double strike, or a missing mint mark can transform a dime worth 10 cents into one valued in the thousands. The thrill of spotting such an error keeps collectors hunting through their change and searching auction listings. It's the dream of finding something rare in the most unexpected place. Another factor that makes the 1974 dime fascinating is the high-grade specimens that survive untouched by circulation. Imagine a coin that was minted over 50 years ago, yet still shines as if it were just struck yesterday. Those pristine examples, preserved in mint-state condition, are the true jewels of numismatics. Collectors value sharp detail, perfect luster, and the absence of scratches or wear. When such coins are certified by professional grading services, they immediately gain recognition and demand in the market. A 1974 dime in superb condition can achieve prices far beyond what most people would ever believe. It's also important to recognize how these coins connect with history. In the 1970s, America was experiencing significant changes. The nation had just emerged from the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal shook the White House, and the economy faced challenges of inflation. Through it all, coins like the 1974 dime continued to quietly circulate, becoming silent witnesses to an era of transformation. The Roosevelt dime design remained unchanged during that time, which gave the coin a sense of stability. While the country evolved, the dime reminded people of Roosevelt's enduring legacy. Collectors today don't just see a coin, they see a symbol of continuity, of a leader's influence that lasted well beyond his presidency. Over the years, the 1974 dime has gained attention not just for its historical meaning but for its surprising auction results. Collectors have been willing to pay extraordinary sums for the rarest and best preserved examples. It's this combination of scarcity, beauty, and historical resonance that fuels the fascination with this small coin. For many people, the idea that a dime could ever be worth more than a luxury car or even a house seems unbelievable. Yet in the world of numismatics, such values are entirely possible, and the 1974 dime is a shining example of how true that can be. What adds to the mystery is that many people likely walked past these treasures for years without realizing their significance. Somewhere in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten coin jars, a rare 1974 dime could be waiting to be discovered, just like buried treasure hiding in plain sight. Collectors often advise looking carefully at every coin you come across. With the right eye, the ordinary can turn extraordinary. The 1974 dime teaches us that value often hides where we least expect it. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, thrives on stories like this. Each coin has its journey, passing from hand to hand, generation to generation, carrying not just financial worth but cultural and emotional value. The 1974 dime embodies that perfectly. Its modest size makes it easy to underestimate, but its impact in the collecting world is undeniable. The coin reminds us never to judge something solely by its appearance or its face value. Beyond the numbers and grades, what really excites collectors is the chase, the hunt for the rare find, the joy of uncovering history, and the pride of owning a piece of America's story. The 1974 dime is the perfect coin for such a pursuit. Think of the excitement of holding a dime from decades ago, knowing that its journey might have included countless exchanges, stories, and moments, yet somehow it survived in nearly perfect condition. That survival is what makes the coin extraordinary. It's not only collectors who should be fascinated by this dime. Even casual hobbyists, or everyday people, can be drawn in by its story. After all, anyone could potentially stumble across a valuable example. That universal possibility is part of the coin's allure. With each passing year, the number of high-quality 1974 dimes only becomes smaller. As coins are lost, damaged, or remain hidden in private collections, the rarity increases, driving up their value in the marketplace. Auctions often reveal just how much collectors are willing to pay for these dimes. The bidding wars, the rising prices, and the excitement in the room all highlight how much passion surrounds this little coin. For new collectors, learning about coins like the 1974 dime can spark a lifelong hobby. It teaches patience, sharp observation, and appreciation for history. It's a coin that inspires curiosity and rewards those who pay attention to details. In many ways, the Roosevelt dime of 1974 is more than currency. It's art. The detailed portrait, the symbolic reverse, and the craftsmanship of its creation all reflect the artistry of coin design. Owning one feels like holding a miniature sculpture of American ideals. It's also a reminder of how value changes with perspective. What was once worth 10 cents in the grocery store could today command a fortune. That shift in perception is what makes coins so fascinating to study and collect. Collectors know that rarity and condition are everything. That's why the 1974 dime continues to hold a special place in auctions and private collections. It's proof that even the smallest coin can carry the largest story. The coin world is full of surprises, and the 1974 dime is one of its brightest gems. A coin that many overlook, yet the right example can become the centerpiece of a collection and a source of wonder for generations. So, the next time you find a Roosevelt dime in your pocket, take a closer look. Who knows, you might be holding a rare treasure without realizing it. The thrill of that possibility is what keeps collectors searching, and when it comes to the most valuable examples, the number is simply astonishing. The highest known price for a 1974 Roosevelt dime has reached an incredible $88,000. Top 2. The Roosevelt dime of 1981 is one of those small but powerful coins that can tell a story far bigger than its size. At just 10 cents face value, most people would never look at it twice. Yet, hidden in the folds of history and the passion of coin collectors, the 1981 Roosevelt dime has gained a reputation for being a surprising treasure. When it was first struck, the year 1981 was a time of transition in America. The country was moving into a new decade full of change. Ronald Reagan had just taken office as president, technology was advancing, and the economy faced both challenges and opportunities. In the midst of these big events, ordinary coins like the dime quietly circulated through people's lives, serving as silent witnesses to history. The Roosevelt dime had already been in production for decades by 1981, having been introduced in 1946 as a tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt was remembered not only for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II but also for his efforts in fighting polio, which inspired the March of Dimes campaign. It was only fitting that his portrait became the face of the dime. The obverse of the coin proudly shows Roosevelt's profile, designed by John R. Sinek. The simple inscriptions of "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1981 frame his portrait, creating a design that has become deeply familiar to Americans. It's a timeless look that continues to endure. Turning the coin over, the reverse is equally meaningful. The central torch shines brightly, representing freedom and enlightenment, while the olive branch stands for peace and the oak branch for strength. Together, these symbols give the dime a sense of dignity and power that goes far beyond its small size. The 1981 Roosevelt dime was struck at several different U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco for proof coins. Millions were produced, making the dime seem incredibly common at first glance. But as collectors know, within those millions lies the rare and extraordinary. What makes the 1981 dime so interesting is that not all of them are equal. The condition, mint mark, and potential errors can completely change its value. While most circulated coins are worth only 10 cents, certain pristine or rare varieties can fetch astounding prices at auctions. Errors play a huge role in the world of numismatics, and the 1981 dime is no exception. A misprint, a missing mint mark, or a strike mistake can create a unique coin that collectors will compete fiercely to own. These mistakes, though unintended, often make the coin more desirable. Even without errors, high-grade examples are incredibly sought after. Coins that remain untouched by circulation, preserved with their original luster and sharp details, stand out like jewels among ordinary pocket change. These mint-state dimes are the ones that can truly shock the market with their value. Collectors also love the 1981 dime because of its place in American coinage history. It comes from an era just before some major shifts in U.S. coin production, making it a sort of bridge between the past and the modern era of coins. This historical placement adds to its appeal. Another fascinating aspect of the 1981 Roosevelt dime is its connection to proof sets. Proof coins from this year were struck with extraordinary care, often displaying mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs. Some of these proofs, especially those with unusual characteristics, can command strong attention from collectors. The joy of coin collecting often lies in the hunt. For many, the idea that a dime from 1981 could be worth more than its face value adds excitement to every coin they examine. Each discovery feels like unearthing a piece of hidden treasure. It's easy to imagine a coin like this passing through countless hands over the years, traveling from store counters to pockets, from piggy banks to cash registers. Yet, against all odds, a few manage to survive in remarkable condition, untouched and preserved like time capsules. Those pristine survivors are what drive collectors wild. To hold a 1981 dime in perfect condition is to hold not just a coin, but a frozen moment in time. The sharp details, the brilliant shine, and the flawless strike all combine to create something extraordinary. In auctions, these rare examples have stunned audiences by selling for amounts far beyond what anyone would expect. The bidding wars, the rising numbers, and the final hammer price all reveal the deep passion collectors have for coins like the Roosevelt dime. It is not just about the money, though. Collectors see these coins as pieces of history, art, and culture. Each coin tells a story of the year it was made, the hands it passed through, and the legacy of the figure it honors. For the 1981 dime, that legacy is rooted in Roosevelt's vision for America. His commitment to strength, peace, and leadership is reflected in the very design of the coin. That symbolism makes the dime more than currency, it makes it a tribute. The smaller the coin, the easier it is to overlook. Yet, ironically, the smaller coins often hide some of the biggest surprises. The dime is proof that greatness doesn't always come in large sizes. Many collectors encourage everyday people to check their change, because treasures often slip by unnoticed. Somewhere, in an old jar of coins or a forgotten drawer, a valuable 1981 dime may be waiting to be discovered. The suspense of possibly owning a fortune in the form of a tiny coin keeps the hobby alive and thrilling. Each new discovery brings fresh energy into the world of numismatics. For those who are just starting out, the Roosevelt dime is an excellent entry point into coin collecting. It is affordable in its common form, yet the rarities offer the dream of striking gold, figuratively speaking, in the world of coins. The coin reminds us of an important lesson: value is not always about what something is worth today, but about the story, the rarity, and the condition that makes it unique. Over time, coins like the 1981 dime become harder to find in top condition. As the years pass, more are lost, damaged, or overlooked, which only makes the surviving gems more precious. The connection between history and value becomes even clearer with this coin. The more we understand about the year it was minted and the design it carries, the more we appreciate its place in American history. It's no wonder that collectors see these coins as treasures worth protecting. Each dime holds the potential to spark curiosity, inspire collecting, and remind us of the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The 1981 Roosevelt dime is not just about the monetary value, it's about the thrill of discovery, the art of coin design, and the enduring story of a president's influence. When people learn that such a coin could be worth thousands, it changes the way they look at everyday change. Suddenly, every coin becomes a mystery waiting to be solved, and in the world of rare coins, the truth is often more astonishing than fiction. For the 1981 Roosevelt dime, the highest known value has reached an incredible $77,000. Top 3. The Roosevelt dime of 1991 may look like an ordinary piece of change to most people, but to coin collectors and history lovers, it is a fascinating little treasure with a story worth telling. A small silver-colored coin, worth just 10 cents on the surface, has become an object of admiration and desire for many who appreciate the secrets hidden within America's coinage. The year 1991 was one of transition and excitement in the United States. The Gulf War had captured headlines, the Cold War era was drawing to a close, and technology was rapidly moving forward. In the middle of all this, everyday Americans continued to use coins like the Roosevelt dime for their daily purchases, unaware that some examples would one day carry immense value. The Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for decades by 1991. First minted in 1946, the coin was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the nation's 32nd president, who guided the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II. His leadership and his fight against polio inspired the nation, and his portrait was placed on the dime as a tribute. On the obverse, or front side of the 1991 dime, you will find Roosevelt's left-facing profile, surrounded by inscriptions that every American recognizes. The word Liberty, the national motto, In God We Trust, and the year of mintage. A tiny mint mark may also appear, showing where the coin was struck. The reverse of the coin carries even more meaning. The central torch shines brightly as a symbol of liberty, while the olive branch on the left reminds us of the importance of peace, and the sturdy oak branch on the right reflects strength and independence. These three symbols together create one of the most powerful designs in American coinage. By 1991, the dime was struck in enormous numbers at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with special proof examples minted in San Francisco. To the casual eye, they all look the same, but for collectors, the details make all the difference. Condition, mint marks, and errors can transform an ordinary dime into a rare masterpiece. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the hunt for errors, and the 1991 dime has its share of them. A misstruck die, a double image, or even a missing mint mark can turn a 10-cent coin into something far more valuable. These minting mistakes are like tiny accidents of history that collectors absolutely love to chase. But even without errors, the condition of a coin matters enormously. A 1991 dime that has survived untouched by circulation, with sharp details and brilliant luster, is worth far more than one that has been worn down by decades of use. Collectors call these gems mint state coins, and they are the shining stars of any collection. The rarity of such coins increases every year. With time, most dimes from 1991 have been lost, damaged, or heavily circulated. The few that remain in exceptional condition become even more valuable, driving up demand among collectors. What makes the 1991 dime so appealing is that it bridges both modern and historical coinage. While it may not be as old as some of the classic coins of the past, it still carries decades of history and represents an important chapter in American life. For collectors, it is not just about owning a coin, it is about holding on to a piece of the past. When you look at a 1991 dime, you are reminded of the events of that year, the everyday lives of people who once carried these coins, and the enduring image of Roosevelt himself. The 1991 dime also has its place in proof sets, which are specially struck coins with mirror-like surfaces. These proofs were never meant for circulation but were instead created for collectors. Some of these sets contain remarkable examples that shine with beauty and fetch impressive prices. Auction houses and coin shows have revealed just how sought after the 1991 dime can be. When a rare variety or a flawless specimen appears, collectors often compete fiercely, pushing the prices higher than anyone might expect. To the untrained eye, a dime is just small change. But to those who know the secrets of numismatics, the dime is a potential treasure. The thrill comes from the possibility that the next coin you pick up might be worth far more than you imagine. There is a magic to holding such a coin. It feels like a bridge across time, linking the present to the past, carrying with it stories of presidents, history, and everyday American life. The 1991 dime may be small, but it holds a vast legacy. Collectors often remind us that rarity, history, and condition create value. The 1991 dime checks all of these boxes when found in the right form. That is why it has carved out a reputation as a desirable coin for those in the hobby. The design itself adds to its appeal. The detailed portrait of Roosevelt, combined with the symbolic reverse, reminds us of the ideals of freedom, peace, and strength. This combination ensures that the coin is not just valuable, but meaningful. The more people learn about coins like the 1991 dime, the more interest grows in coin collecting as a whole. It becomes a hobby that is not just about money, but about art, history, and discovery. Imagine finding one of these dimes in a collection or a forgotten coin jar. To think that such a tiny coin could hold such extraordinary value creates a sense of wonder. That sense of possibility is what keeps collectors searching. Every time someone examines a 1991 dime carefully, they may discover something new, a small detail, a hidden mark, or a level of preservation that makes the coin stand out. That's the beauty of numismatics, the joy of noticing what others might miss. The longer these coins circulate, the harder it becomes to find the best examples. That is why collectors act quickly when they see an opportunity. The value is not just in the metal, but in the rarity of perfection. Even though millions of these coins were made, only a handful have reached the levels of condition and rarity that earn them a place among the most valuable Roosevelt dimes. It is this hidden scarcity that surprises so many people. Coin collecting is full of stories where ordinary pocket change turned out to be worth a fortune. The 1991 dime is one of those stories, a coin that proves how everyday objects can hold extraordinary worth. The coin market thrives on excitement and discovery, and the 1991 Roosevelt dime delivers both. It inspires collectors and casual hobbyists alike to take a second look at the coins they handle daily. As time goes on, the number of high-quality examples will only shrink. That means the coins that do survive will continue to grow in value and in importance. The 1991 dime is a perfect example of this phenomenon. This coin is not just about money, it is about legacy. It is about Roosevelt's enduring influence, the artistry of American coinage, and the thrill of discovering something rare. Collectors know that holding such a coin is like owning a piece of American history in the palm of their hand. It connects them to a story bigger than themselves, and in the world of rare coins, the final numbers can be truly astonishing. The most valuable examples of the 1991 Roosevelt dime have sold for as much as $57,000. Top 4. The Washington quarter dollar of 1979 is one of those coins that looks simple at first glance, yet carries a legacy that stretches back decades. For most people, it is just a 25-cent piece, tossed into a pocket or used at a vending machine. But for collectors and historians, the 1979 quarter has become an item of fascination, a coin with stories, secrets, and value that far outweigh its face. To understand the beauty of the 1979 quarter, we must first step back to its origins. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932, introduced to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the nation's first president and a symbol of leadership and independence. What began as a commemorative coin soon became a permanent part of American coinage, and by 1979, it had already been in production for nearly half a century. The obverse of the coin proudly bears the image of George Washington. Sculpted by John Flanagan, the design captures Washington's dignified profile facing left, accompanied by the word, Liberty, above and the national motto, In God We Trust, to the side. Below his neck rests the year of minting, 1979, marking the coin's place in history. Turning the coin over, the reverse design is equally powerful. The bold American eagle stands with wings spread wide, perched upon a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle rests an olive branch, representing the hope for peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum, remind us of the ideals on which the nation was built. The 1979 Washington quarter was produced at 3 major mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia quarters from this year carry no mint mark, Denver coins carry the D, and San Francisco quarters display the S mint mark, usually seen on proof coins. Though millions were struck, rarity is found in the details that only collectors pay close attention to. One of the most thrilling parts of collecting quarters from 1979 is the search for errors. A mis-strike, off-center design, or double die can turn a seemingly ordinary quarter into a rare collectible worth thousands. Minting errors are often accidental, but to collectors, they are treasures that make a coin one of a kind. Even without errors, the condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state, hold extraordinary appeal. With sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches, these coins stand apart as gems in the world of numismatics. Proof quarters from San Francisco are also highly prized. These coins were struck with extra care, polished dies, and mirror-like finishes, creating a stunning example of the Washington quarter. Some of these proofs have survived in immaculate condition, and collectors chase them passionately. When we think about 1979, it was a year of cultural and economic change in America. Inflation was high, gas prices were on the rise, and the nation was preparing to enter the 1980s with uncertainty. Through it all, the quarter remained a constant, moving through the hands of everyday citizens, carrying with it both purchasing power and silent historical witness. Collectors today don't just see a coin when they look at the 1979 quarter. They see a moment in history. They see the decisions of the mint, the artistry of John Flanagan, and the reflection of an era when America was both struggling and striving. The Washington quarter has always carried a sense of national pride. Its eagle design reminds us of America's strength, while Washington's profile recalls the foundation of the Republic itself. For many, collecting the 1979 quarter is not just about value but about patriotism and legacy. As decades pass, finding quarters from 1979 in pristine condition becomes harder and harder. Most have been worn down from years of circulation, their details softened, and their shine gone. This makes the surviving high-grade examples all the more precious. At coin shows and auctions, the 1979 quarter has surprised collectors with its value. While most circulated pieces are worth face value, rare mint state or proof varieties have commanded astonishing sums, especially when graded by professional services. There is a thrill in knowing that such value can hide in plain sight. Imagine searching through a jar of change and pulling out a 1979 quarter that turns out to be a rare and valuable piece. That dream of hidden treasure is what keeps collectors searching, Coin collecting is not just about the money, it's about the excitement of discovery. Each coin is a puzzle, a story waiting to be told, and the 1979 Washington quarter is a perfect example of that excitement. The design of the quarter also appeals to lovers of art. The elegance of Washington's profile and the boldness of the eagle combine to create a design that has endured for generations. It is both simple and majestic, a reminder of the artistry in American coinage. The 1979 quarter also marks a time just before major changes in the coin world. In the decades that followed, new state and national park quarter programs would revolutionize collecting. But the 1979 quarter stands as a bridge between the traditional and the modern, making it an important milestone in the series. Collectors know that the value of a coin comes from rarity, condition, and demand. With the 1979 quarter, all three can align in ways that turn a common coin into a prized collectible. Every time a valuable 1979 quarter appears at auction, it sparks new interest in the hobby. It reminds both seasoned collectors and newcomers that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places. The story of this coin is also the story of perseverance. From Washington's leadership in America's earliest days to the eagle's enduring strength, the 1979 quarter symbolizes resilience in the face of challenge. To hold the 1979 Washington quarter in perfect condition is to hold history in your hand. It is a reminder that even small coins carry big stories. That story becomes even more powerful when a coin reaches the highest levels of rarity and value. For the lucky few who own such examples, the coin becomes not just money, but a true piece of American heritage. The 1979 quarter continues to fascinate collectors worldwide, inspiring them to look closer at the coins they carry every day. Its story shows us that value is not always obvious, and that beauty often lies in the details. Whether passed from hand to hand in the 1970s or carefully preserved in a collector's case, the Washington quarter of 1979 holds a special place in the heart of American numismatics. Its legacy is built not only on metal but on meaning, on the artistry of its design, and on the history it represents. The more you learn about coins like the 1979 quarter, the more you realize that they are much more than small pieces of change. They are reflections of the nation itself. Collectors treasure them, historians respect them, and everyday people may one day be surprised to find one worth far more than they expected. And for the rarest and most valuable examples, the numbers are nothing short of incredible. The 1979 Washington quarter has been known to reach as high as $104,000. Top 5. The Washington quarter dollar of 1988 is a coin that most people might pass over without giving it a second thought. But for coin collectors and history enthusiasts, it has become an object of fascination. A simple 25-cent piece, struck for everyday use, has the power to tell a story far greater than its small face value. The Washington quarter series began in 1932, when the United States Mint introduced it to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What was supposed to be a commemorative coin became a permanent fixture of American money, and by the time 1988 arrived, it had already been part of American life for more than 50 years. On the obverse of the 1988 quarter, George Washington's dignified profile faces left, a design by sculptor John Flanagan. Above him appears the word Liberty, while the phrase In God We Trust sits proudly to the left. At the bottom is the year of issue, 1988, connecting the coin to its time in history. The reverse of the quarter is just as powerful. An American eagle stands with wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and readiness. Beneath the eagle rests an olive branch, representing peace. Together, these elements balance the power of war and the hope of peace, a theme that resonates throughout American coinage. In 1988, quarters were struck at multiple mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins show a D, and San Francisco coins, usually proofs, display an S. While millions were minted, not all quarters are equal in the eyes of collectors. The condition of a coin can transform its value dramatically. A heavily circulated 1988 quarter is worth only its face value, but one that has never been spent and remains in pristine, mint state condition can command astonishing prices. The sharper the details and the brighter the luster, the more a coin attracts attention. Proof coins from 1988 are another story. These were struck with polished dies and special care to create mirror-like finishes, making them true works of art. Proofs often remained in sets and were never circulated, which is why so many survive in excellent condition today. But even among proofs, certain variations make them rare and desirable. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1988 Washington quarter is the possibility of errors. A misaligned strike, double die, or missing mint mark can turn an ordinary quarter into a one-of-a-kind treasure. For collectors, these mistakes are not flaws but rare gifts of chance. Imagine holding a quarter that looks like every other coin in circulation, yet because of a small error or its untouched preservation, it becomes a coin worth thousands. That is the magic of numismatics, the study and collecting of coins. The year 1988 was also significant in American history. It was the final year of Ronald Reagan's presidency, a time of optimism and challenges as the country approached the 1990s. The quarter from that year became part of the everyday life of Americans, a small but constant presence during a time of political and cultural change. For coin collectors, the 1988 quarter is more than just money. It is a piece of history, linking back to Washington himself and forward to modern times. It represents strength, freedom, and the enduring symbols of America. At coin shows and auctions, the 1988 quarter has surprised many with its value. Collectors often compete for the finest examples, bidding higher and higher to own a perfect specimen. These rare gems are preserved pieces of history that continue to capture hearts. The excitement of searching for such a coin is part of what makes collecting so addictive. Every time someone checks their change, they hold the possibility of finding something rare. That thrill keeps the hobby alive for people of all ages. It is incredible to think that a coin worth 25 cents in 1988 could today be worth thousands under the right conditions. It teaches us never to underestimate the everyday objects we encounter. Even for casual collectors, the Washington quarter is a perfect starting point. Its design is familiar, its history is rich, and the possibility of discovering something valuable adds a layer of excitement. The artistry of the quarter cannot be ignored either. Washington's portrait reflects strength and honor, while the eagle on the reverse showcases the majesty of America's national bird. Together, they create one of the most enduring and recognizable designs in U.S. coinage. Over the decades, the quarter has evolved, but the 1988 edition remains a classic. It came just before the massive state quarters program of 1999, which transformed the hobby by encouraging millions of new collectors. This makes the 1988 quarter a bridge between the traditional eagle design and the modern commemoratives. For those who study coins, every detail matters. The shape of the letters, the clarity of Washington's hair, the sharpness of the eagle's feathers, all of these details influence a coin's grade and its ultimate value. The 1988 quarter also represents the resilience of coins themselves. Passed from hand to hand through generations, they survive as silent witnesses to history. Each coin has a journey, and that journey adds to its meaning. Collectors know that rarity is not just about how many coins were minted, but how many survive in the best condition. For the 1988 quarter, the rarest and most pristine examples are the ones that bring jaw-dropping prices. The value of a coin like this is not just in its metal, but in the stories it tells. It represents Washington's leadership, the strength of America, and the chance discoveries that keep collectors searching. Holding a 1988 quarter in perfect condition is like holding a piece of frozen time. It shines with the same brilliance it did the day it left the mint, untouched by decades of circulation. That sense of time travel is part of the wonder of collecting. Coins like the 1988 quarter give us a connection to both history and artistry, making them treasures far beyond their face value. Even though most people will never realize the potential value of the coins in their pocket, collectors know that one coin can change everything. The 1988 quarter is proof of that possibility. As years go by, fewer high-quality examples will remain, increasing demand and driving values even higher. For collectors, the 1988 quarter is a chance to own a piece of history while also holding a valuable asset. It is a reminder that small things can carry big meaning. What looks ordinary to one person can be extraordinary to another. That is the beauty of coin collecting. The Washington quarter of 1988 continues to inspire curiosity and admiration. Its design, its history, and its hidden potential for value make it one of the most exciting coins of its era. Every coin has a story, and this one tells us of leadership, resilience, and the surprising treasures hidden in everyday life. And for the rarest and finest examples of the 1988 Washington quarter dollar, the value has reached an astonishing $78,000.